Hey guys, my name is Lara. I'm a purple belt out of Zenith BJJ. And hey, I love to travel and meet new people and train in new places. Go on this adventure with me as I go all over the world, all over the country, and hang out at some really amazing gyms. All my students wonder, where the heck is Lara? Where the heck am I this week? I'm in Amsterdam, hanging out at 10th Planet Amsterdam. Hey, here's Amsterdam right now. Look at that canal. Look at those bikes. Look at that boat. It is very cold in November in Amsterdam, just so you know. Staying at the airport is fun. Zero to few. Hey guys, here we are. This is Lara. We're heading to Amsterdam. Our flight was at 6 a.m. so we decided to stay at the Vancouver airport. Here's our first initial flight with WestJet, which I've heard horrible things about WestJet, but it wasn't that bad. It was pretty nice. Pretty comfy seat, lots of leg room, no complaints. I did get to sit with a strange man, not my husband. YVR is one of the nicest airports in the world. I'd highly recommend that you fly out of there. It's so chill. No one makes you take your shoes off. It's not a 3-hour drive to Seattle. And look at this amazing view of the different mountains, and the sky is just really beautiful. This is everybody's like dream YouTube shot of like, look at the engine on this plane. Then we had a layover in Calgary, but you know, we had to wait about an hour because they had to snow plow all the ice and snow off the thing. And then bam, we're in Amsterdam. This is central Amsterdam. Beautiful city, mostly bicycles, and thousands of bicycles. People like to walk too. Amsterdam is a city of canals. It was below sea level, and they created all these canals to sort of flush out the water. And now it's become like a big part of the transportation. We went on a little canal ride, because this is a big thing in Amsterdam since it's mostly canals, where you can pay like, you know, 50, 60 bucks and get on one of these little canal boats, and they take you around and they tell you about the history of Amsterdam, and you get to drink because they usually have bars. The captain's not drinking, luckily, but they tell you just a little bit about the history. So I recommend that if you do go and train, go get on a tiny boat, drink some beer, talk with people about where they live. Like this guy is from Amsterdam. He's lived here his whole life. His grandmother was best friends with Anne Frank, so he had a lot of stories that he could tell us about, like what happened during World War II. He was telling us all about what's happening in the city. So, you know, one of the best things that you can do when you go to a different country or different city to train, go do what locals do. Go get in a boat, go to a gym, meet some people who really live in the city, because I think that that's the best way that you are going to learn about the place that you're going to. By the way, I'm just gonna say, that boat was freezing cold. We were freezing our nuts off in this boat. Even though it's covered, like we paid for the covered boat, it's still winter time, so we're all like drinking a lot of beer. These are the different historical houses that I talked about that are in the center of the city. They're really quite pretty. You see those little hooks at the top of the window? That's how they get the furniture in the buildings. Amsterdam is beautiful during the day on the canal, but at night, it's a whole nother level, especially during Christmas. We celebrate Thanksgiving here in the States. They don't celebrate Thanksgiving everywhere else in the world. So Christmas is a huge deal in Europe. So when you go from anywhere from November to probably mid-January, you're gonna get a lot of Christmas stuff, like Christmas lights, Christmas food, Christmas celebration. It's a much bigger deal on that side of the world because they don't have our Thanksgiving. They do take cars, but in the outside part of the city where there's more like modern type architecture and things. This is where we're at right now. 10th Planet Amsterdam is quite a bit out from the center where I was staying, so I ended up doing Uber. Had a really weird Uber situation where like an Uber showed up and didn't look like the picture. So I ended up having to get another ride, so I was a little bit late. So that was a little scary, because when you're in another country and you're traveling alone as a woman, you don't really want your Uber driver not to look like your Uber driver. As you can see here, a lot of people still biking, even in this outer area of Amsterdam. It was really scary, actually, because like The bikes kind of just go wherever they want. They go in front of the cars, they go in front of the bus, they go in front of the people. They don't care. It's a big biking culture over there, which, you know, I should be used to because we have that here in Washington, but it was still like, oh God, there's a bike on like the highway. There's a bike in front of this truck. You know, but you know, a lot of people don't end up dead, so I guess it kind of works for them. This is really pretty. It's like historical buildings mixed with a lot of modern. So this is 10th Planet Amsterdam. It is inside another training center, which is okay. Some people do that. Amsterdam 10th Planet is an Amsterdam training center. Here I am. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you walk in. It's a pretty nice training facility. They got a decent sized mat, very clean. It wasn't a huge class. It was like an 8 a.m. class, probably about like 10 people, mostly men, no other women. I was the only woman. There were people to train with, some bigger guys, which was nice. You don't always find that, especially in the countries where people are pretty small. I worked with these two gentlemen. The one gentleman on top is from Brazil, and the guy on the bottom is from Amsterdam, from the Netherlands. This is the professor, head coach of the gym, Imad Adamin. He's a brown belt in 10th Planet, very active competitor in Europe. It's often very hard to show up as a plus-size grappler to gyms because people will either be like gung-ho to work with you, like bigger people, or like little people will not be gung-ho to work with you. But I was pleasantly surprised because everybody in Amsterdam's pretty skinny. So being able to show up and have some sort of mid-sized guys, bigger guys to train with was quite nice. And both these guys were pretty decently sized to train with. Also, they were both, I believe, purple or blue belts, so really worked out. We did a lot on the Kimura in this class. I had seen a lot of the techniques before. There was one grip that I learned. This was a fundamentals class. I wasn't able to make it to an advanced class. The timing wasn't good for me. I was gonna be flying out really early in the morning, so I didn't wanna stay late and do an evening class. Everybody was pretty accommodating with me. Like, you know, you're in another country. I don't assume that people are going to speak English with me because I am in another country, but the nice thing about jiu-jitsu is its own language. One nice thing about this gym is that the guy took the time to film me doing the technique and was cool with me filming doing the technique. Some gyms are not okay with that. They're like, nah, you know, I don't want you filming. This was a nice class because it was pretty small. There were some people working out in the back, but it was like, you know, 10 people, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't find anybody who wanted to roll with me, but to be honest with you, it was probably a good idea that I didn't roll because I was going to be going to Worlds in 2 weeks, and I really didn't need to sustain an injury. I really liked some of the details here and how he chained together a lot of the different techniques, how we could go in different directions. Sometimes you go to gyms and they're like, I'm going to teach you very little bit of something. I kind of like when instructors show me where we can go or where we're going to go, because it's kind of like a nice little like bookmark for where you could take the technique. So that was a really nice feature of the gym. I do wish that there had been more women. It would have been interesting to see some women training. I have heard that women do tend to train at night at this gym from other people that I've known who've gone here. So it would be interesting to go back in the evening, maybe to the advanced class, and see if I could train with some women. It's not like necessary for me because I'm like a bigger person, but it's just nice to see, to go in and like meet new women and also, you know, be able to give them my card so we can match make them for the show. One of the reasons to train and go to these gyms is to see new talent and also just to see how people react to me sometimes. Sometimes I just sort of like to be a little shit and just show up to a gym and be like, I'm training. And they're like, who's this giant woman who's coming into our gym? Because, you know, depending on where you live, they may not have really big people. Amsterdam is a very skinny, sort of focused culture. How would I rate my training at 10th Planet Amsterdam? Quality instruction, 5 out of 5 stars. Is the gym clean? 5 out of 5. It was very clean. Women in the gym, I'm going to have to give them 2 out of 5 stars. There were no women in the class. Maybe there are more women in other classes, but you know, it's always nice to at least have one woman when you come in as a woman. People to train with Godzilla women, I'm gonna give them 4 out of 5. I think the guys were pretty willing to train with me, and that was cool. The one guy in particular really was okay working with me. The other guy was kind of like complaining sometimes when I would lay on him. And so, you know, that kind of thing makes you uncomfortable coming into a gym. It makes you feel like kind of unwelcome. So that's why they got a 4 out of 5 on that one. hey, you like our content? Go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button and then hit that little notification. Bye.